Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Eric out here in the backyard getting ready, well, not getting ready, shooting this video. But funny thing is that last week I tried shooting this very same video, and it's a knife review, and for some reason I just kept on getting this metal block for some, I'd start the video, I'd start talking about it, giving the specs, giving a little bit of the history and everything, and I just start, essentially like I am right now, just hitting this blank spot. So anyway, I tried it twice, and both times I messed up. Second time, I was a little bit on a roll, and then I ended up messing up. So anyway, I decided, since I have the day off, I'd come out here and try shooting it again. But anyway, things are going good. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this knife review. And today, I'm going to be reviewing, which I think is, a pretty unique and unusual knife, to have in any collection, but they do exist, and that is the Jambiya by Windlass Steelcrafts. Now, for all those who don't know what a Jambiya is essentially the Arabic word for knife. And these were carried, or not were carried, they are carried by men in Arab countries such as like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Yemen, the United Arab Emirates, essentially. That's where these are carried. Now, to go over the specs of this particular Jambiya. Now, just to let you know, like I said, this is from Windlass Steelcrafts. This isn't an original, and I'll get a little bit to the original here in a minute. But the specs on the Windlass Steelcrafts version of the Jambiya is that it has a blade length of 8 3/4 inches of high carbon steel, and it does have a recurve. It is a curved knife, and right down the center you could see a ridge, which gives it rigidity and added strength. See, there's no flex in the blade whatsoever, and it is double-edged too. There's an edge right here. There's also an edge on the inside. Now, when you do order this, the price range is going for about $67. You can get the sharpening service, and this did come from via Cult of Athena. The sharpening service is about like $10-11, so you're looking at about maybe $77 item right here, which isn't bad. So, and I do recommend the sharpening service. But anyway, back to the specs. You've got the 8 3/4 inch high carbon steel blade. You got also which appears to be a high carbon steel spacer right here. The handle length, which is made out of a hardwood. I'm sure it's probably rosewood, considering Windlass Steelcrafts, and they're in India. The handle length is 4 1/4 inches, and it's got these decorative, I want to say probably like some kind of maybe like metal or tin rondels, that gives it the decoration. And the overall length of this particular knife is 14.5 inches from tip to the bottom to the top of the handle. 14.5 inches overall. I mean, and it's a pretty stout knife. I mean, it fits very well in the hand. You got that nice curve, very aggressive tip. Pretty stout blade. Now, going to the scabbard, and there's really nothing to write home about scabbards from Windlass Steelcrafts. This is pretty much plain and simple, run-of-the-mill scabbard from Windlass Steelcrafts. Has a wood core. It's leather wrapped, and it's stitched, and it has a nickel butt plate. Compared to the originals, the scabbards for those are just really highly decorated and prized. And like I said, I'll get that to you in a moment. Now, do I recommend this? Oh, absolutely. I mean, it'll add like it'll really add, some character, some exoticness to any knife collection. Now, as I said before going back to a little bit in this video, that the Jambiyas are still carried by men in the Arab world. And see, back then, I mean, since it being a knife, it was used as defense. Today, more or less, they're being worn as like an everyday accessory, kind of like how we would carry, like a phone, or like some states that are open carry, you carry your handgun. These are carried as an everyday accessory, and by the men, and pretty much what they carry them for, they're a symbol of manhood. It's like a symbol of wealth and social status. So it's pretty much, it's kind of like the more decorative and the more the more decorative your Jambiya is, it goes to show everyone, hey, this guy, has got money, stuff like that. Now, the originals, the ones that are in the Arab world, they're not like this. This is just Windlass Steelcrafts version of what a Jambiya looks like, or, it's pretty much what it is, of what a Jambiya would look like. Now, the originals are just, far more, I don't want to say elaborate, but more decorative. The handles on the originals, they are made from, a wide variety of materials, anywhere like from plastic. They're made from, some of them are made from water buffalo horn, but the most prized ones are made from rhino horn, which is of course illegal, but they still do it. And the reason why is because that's part of their culture. They're very slow to change. But the rhino horn are the most valued. And these these rondels, or bolsters, whatever, or rondels pretty much, these would actually be made of silver. Now, there's actually ones that do have gold on them. So if you got a Jambiya that's made out of rhino horn, and it's got silver, and the scabbard, would be elaborately decorated too with silver and other high-priced materials, and they're worn on these very elaborate belts too, or they would be tucked into a sash. So it's not the blade that is, it's not the blade that's that what makes it expensive. It's essentially the handle and the scabbard and the belt that on which it's carried. So that's pretty much it of what the Jambiya is. It's it's a status symbol, and the price range on these things over there, they can go for anywhere from like a few dollars to thousands of dollars. I mean, I've done some research, and I've even seen some Jambiyas being sold for about $1 million. I mean, that's just crazy. $1 million for a knife. But you know what? There are katanas being sold for that price too. But that being said, that's just how it is. And it's also what makes Jambiya expensive is that the older it is, the more, and depending on what it's made from, let's say, rhino horn and gold and stuff like that, the price is going to go up. And if it has gold, silver, stuff on like that, it's going to go up. I was looking on eBay the other day, doing the research for this video, and I found some Jambiyas, and they were, some of them went for like a few hundred, 500, which is, pretty, to me, it's pretty high price. But then I came across one being sold for $3,200, and I'm just looking at that price, and it's just like, man, this knife being sold for that price, it's more than what I put down for the down payment on my car. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, just a knife is more you know, it's worth more than the down payment. But anyway, I mean, it's just, I think that these blades are, that this style of knife is just awesome. I mean, I could see, you know, the fighting implications and, you know, and other uses in this knife. I mean, and I tell you, right here, I mean, they say they also use Jambiyas, you know, a while ago when they, you know, would have to like slaughter a goat or something like that. But all in all, this is a fighting knife. I mean, it's just by that recurve, that aggressive tip, you know, it's just, this is like, you know, this is just no bars hold, you know, I'm just going to cut you up kind of thing. So, and like I said, I highly recommend it. Go buy Cult of Athena, check it out. I mean, and it'll add any, you know, flair to any collection. But anyway, guys, you know, I think I did pretty well on this video. You know, I didn't stumble too much. Anyway, just let me know what you think about the Jambiya and how this video went. And until next time, take care, guys.